Right there, so is Gugelman with 5 to go. Three-way battle for the lead on the backstretch. Ribeiro, apparently well aware of Herta's presence now, begins to pull away. Across the line with 4 to go. He lost a 10th on that last lap. Ribeiro was able to pull out away from Herta.
But it looks like Big Mo's closing down on Herta. You know he's running that wide open the whole time right now.
Ribeiro giving it as fast as he can, running the fastest laps of the 3 right now. And there's no question about it. Gugelman is closing on second place, Brian Herta. The interval at the lead lengthens out. Ribeiro's pulled out 3/10. Focus is on the fight for second with 2 laps to go. And Ribeiro pulls out another 10th. He was 1.4 ahead of Brian Herta. Stefan Johansson is able to come out and around Mark Blundell, and Johansson moves into the top 5, currently running 5th. Here comes Little Al. There's Johansson, and here comes the white flag. 2 miles to go for Andre Ribeiro. Looking at the second win of the season. Here is Herta right behind him. Gugelman trying to close. Interval remains the same as they come through 2. Off at 2 on the backstretch. There's your top 3 after 500 miles at the Michigan 500. Andre Ribeiro from Brazil heads down into turn 3. Working turn 4. And ahead lies the checkered flag as Andre Ribeiro finishes 250 laps, 500 miles. Second win in a row for the Tasman team. Followed by Herta, Gugelman. And Al Unser Jr. comes across in 4th. And Stefan Johansson in 5th. Blundell is 6th. So Al Unser Jr. is in the championship catbird seat as he moves to the top of the order. But look at Ribeiro. Boy, is he happy about this one.
Oh, my. Here's Steve Horn once again with Christine. It's becoming a habit, and what a wonderful habit you must be enjoying right now.
Well, certainly this is a great victory for Andre. I think we've had some good runs here before, and it's got away from him. And but what a great job the team's done with both cars. We were at the front all day, and another great victory.
Did you tell these guys anything before the start of this race, any veteran words of wisdom to try to keep them calm and collected?
I think, you know, I work with Adrian Fernandez a lot, and both him and Andre said it's a marathon race. We've got to get to the last 50 miles and go from there, and that's what they did.
The start this time, in contrast to the start in May, this time it was only Emerson Fittipaldi, but your drivers were very close to all of that.
Yeah, Adrian in particular said he only just missed some of the debris, and that's the brakes. I just hope Emerson's okay.
See you on the podium and savor another one.
2 in a row.
Thanks, Steve.
Okay.
I have heard the medical report on Emerson Fittipaldi. Here's just a brief report on Parker Johnstone. He has injuries. They are not life-threatening. That could probably mean almost anything, and we will wait for a further official update on that. As now Andre Ribeiro, after 500 miles at Michigan, takes the win and rolls down toward the winner's circle, makes that right-hand turn, his only one of the day, and he misses it. They're going to have to push the car back to get him into the winner's circle here, but the team will gladly do that. And there now, it's totally official. Andre Ribeiro is in the winner's circle and takes the win at the Michigan 500. And he studied to be a lawyer and decided instead his life as a race driver would be a lot more fun. And this is the joy that rewards that decision.
I told you it was our
hard day, didn't I?
That's Christine Horn just off to the right. She's the wife of the car owner you met a moment ago, Steve Horn, and vitally part of that team. We'll be back to talk with the winner right after this. Put another new name in the winners column. Andre Ribeiro has taken the win at the Michigan 500, his first victory here. Jack Pruitt?
Take a look at the steering wheel. Not a rounded steering wheel, more like you might see on an airplane. Well, he certainly flew fast enough, getting the congratulations. Andre, you had one more pit stop than most of the people. Were there any problems or concerns all day for you?
No, I think the car was perfect. The Tasman guys made a fantastic job. But it unfortunately is a mixture of a fantastic feeling to be win, but it's a sad feeling to see the accident with Emo. I hope he's fine.
We can update you on Emerson. I'm sure you haven't heard. He has a fracture in his spinal area, but he has complete use of his hands and arms. He has been transferred, so it is good news.
Good. Well, makes me feel better now, definitely.
Now, you won in your home country of Brazil, and now you've won in the United States of America in a 500-miler. Are there any differences?
Well, it's fantastic. To be very honest, it's very difficult to put everything out, what I'm feeling. It was a tough race, but it's an incredible good feeling. It's fantastic.
I'll tell you the one thing, Gary Gerald, I'm sure we're going to see in just a minute. Andre Ribeiro's trademark blink of the eye and a thumbs-up signal. Gary?
We got that one down pat. Here's Brian Herta. Terrific job for a second place. In all the frustration that you and your team went through early in the season, unable to finish races, is any of that starting to feel a little more comforting now with a day like this?
Well, it's getting better, Gary. I think the car was great. Shell really stepped up and helped us this year. And, this is all the work from all the guys in the team and great pit stops, and especially all the guys back home at the shop who don't get to come out to all the races. All their hard work really pays off, and this is for them too.
Bobby Rahal, your boss, went out early because of some problems he encountered. We saw him back then on the radio. Did he talk to you at all in the late stages of this one?
Well, a little bit during the yellow. Scott Remke's on the radio, and he called the pits for me, and he did a great job. I mean, the strategy was right on, and during the yellows, when we had a little extra time, Bob came on and gave me a couple tips there for the restart. I guess it worked.
All right. Go enjoy a spot on the podium. That's Brian Herta. And right over here, Mauricio Gugelman. We'll see if we can't get Big Mo over here. You've got to love 500-mile races at Michigan. You were second here in May, and here you are on the podium once again. What's the secret of your success?
I think it's my team. The Hollywood Pac West team has a great setup for this place. I'm able to run wide open all the time. Actually, my right leg went today. I had to use my left leg on the throttle because I couldn't feel my right anymore. That's how hard I was pressing the throttle. But unfortunately, we didn't have the horsepower to run with these guys. But I'm happy with the day. We use our heads, and with the Emo crash, I had to pit to change my screen, so I was last in the beginning. So it was a pretty good day.
When you see incidents like that, particularly early in the race, do you think, oh no, it's going to be one of those crazy days, or are you able to block all that out?
Well, to be totally honest, this place, you always on with the emergency button right there to get the eject button if you can get out, because you're always in emergency. And it's sad to see when he's a friend of you, because we're all friends anyway, that has a crash, and it's just terrible. We out there exposed to that, and you just pray for the whole 250 laps, so see if you can get away with it.
Terrific job, Mo.
Thank you.
Jack?
Gary, been a long time since this man had a top 5 finish. You got it today, Stefan. For Bettenhausen Motorsports, it's got to be great.
Yeah, it is great. Especially after everything that's happened in the last couple of weeks, it was great to have a good car you could race with, and this is probably the best car I've had all year, as a matter of fact,
Well, that's good news for the Alumex team. They're back in the top 5, Paul.
Stefan Johansson, most deserving driver. This was Parker Johnstone as they loaded him onto the stretcher. Look at that. A wave to the crowd. Is that spirit, by the way? The report is bruised knees, tender neck. They're going to send him to the hospital, get some x-rays just to make sure everything's okay. So Parker Johnstone, that's a good report for him, and he shows some real courage as he waves to the crowd. We'll be back.
ABC Sports coverage of the Michigan 500. Brought to you by Goodyear, #1 in tires. Miller Lite. When you've got the great taste of an ice-cold Miller Lite, life is good. Texaco Haviland Formula 3 motor oil controls volatility and fights vaporization. and Honda, who offers an impressive family of cars, sport utility vehicles, and minivans.
Back in Michigan, it must be especially tough to be in Scott Pruitt's position, only to have an engine let go. Gary?
Some of the greatest racing, Paul, you'll ever see, I guess, on the high banks of Michigan. The man who won it last year. I try to describe the disappointment after your great run, only to lose power late.
Well, I got to say a lot of thanks to the guys. The Patrick guys did a superb job. The tires are great, and again, the engine let us down. I mean, it's been continual. It's been a thorn in our side the whole season long, and again, I feel that it cost us the race. Worst case, it cost us second, but our car was hooked up, and I thought we were in a position to win.
Hopefully, better days. Thanks.
Thanks.
Paul?
Scott Pruitt, as we'll look now at the standings, the unofficial results after the running of the Michigan 500. Brian Herta equaled his best career finish with his second place. Johansson's best finish of the year. Raul Boisel equaled his best finish of the year, and Salazar and Davy Jones are showing for the first time in the points as we look through the entire order. This is the third win of the season for the Tasman team, and the third career win now for Andre Ribeiro, his second of this season. And it's the 8th win of the year for Firestone and the 9th for Honda. And we hope that Emerson Fittipaldi, Parker Johnstone are both okay. Then there is the story of the championship points, and Jimmy Vasser, he's still in the points.
Well, Jimmy Vasser, it got more narrow today.
Well, it certainly did, Jack. We're fortunate, though, that we didn't fall behind. We had a very ill-handling car all day, and we just stuck with it. We lost our radio. I had 2 flat tires, picked up some debris. I mean, it was just a real long day, but the whole Target Chip Ganassi team kept fighting and kept me in there. It's hard for the driver to keep his composure and keep his fight in him when that's happening, but we did, and we got a few points anyway, but we really need to get back on the wagon and get in the proper points.
Perseverance so very important for this man.
Well, and single points so very important. The 1 point that Jimmy Vasser took for sitting on the pole made the difference here today in terms of keeping him in the championship fight at the top of the order. He leads Al Unser Jr. by 1 single point as this PPG points fight continues to be terrific. Al Unser Jr. is with Gary.
Well, Al Unser Jr. battling, and it looked like after about the 5th pit stop, they got that wicker bill back in the rear, and the car was looking real good. But obviously, it didn't stay that way then to the end.
No, we, I tried to trim it out because I had it understeer all day long and push, and I was reducing the rear downforce. Finally, I just took the whole gurney bill right out of there, and that made it really, really loose in traffic. And so we put it back in, and I added more front wing with the big wicker bill, and just try to give the whole car total downforce, and that made me happy. We were singing along there just wide open all the way around. It seemed like if I could just catch the draft of Ribeiro and Pruitt, then I could have came up to him, but I was just a little bit behind him, and then my car went loose there at the end, and so.
But the championship point is tighter than ever. Nice job, Al.
Thank you.
1 point behind Jimmy Vasser. Fastest lap of the race, well, Andre Ribeiro at 30.808. Biggest move, Mark Blundell from 21st up to 6th place. And Sully Star is awarded today to Stefan Johansson, who persevered, came forward, finished in 5th place with a 1.38 second margin of victory. But those facts don't tell the entire story of the Michigan 500. Honda still out in the lead in the manufacturers' points battle. And in the Nations Cup, of course, the United States now beginning to be closed upon by Brazil with Andre Ribeiro's win there. The 7th different team to win the Michigan 500 in the last 7 years. A race that it's starting, we told you, always produces the unusual. It has done it again today. 500 miles is a most challenging distance. ABC Sports next week at the Brickyard 400, and then for the Indy cars in 2 weeks from today at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course as the fight for the championship in the Indy cars continues.